Welcome to The Good Woman Awakens. This is a space for women who were taught to be good, but were never taught to be whole. Here, we do not perform empowerment, we examine it. We look at patterns, we look at conditioning, we look at the roles we were trained to play, and the identities we are ready to release. This is not about blaming men, it is not about bitterness, and it is not about noise. It is about awareness, emotional sovereignty, and the quiet courage to see clearly. If something feels uncomfortable here, well, stay with it. Awakening is rarely loud, but it is always honest. Let's begin. Why does no feel so wrong when it's reasonable? This episode explains guilt through self-silencing research, Bowen family systems, differentiation, and a Stoic tool for testing impressions. You'll learn why guilt often appears when you stop overfunctioning, how systems push back when your role changes, and how to use clean boundary language without long explanations. You'll also get a simple weekly practice. One sentence no, reality testing the guilt story, and protecting one rest boundary. Educational content only, not therapy. Let's talk about guilt, because guilt is one of the strongest chains around a good woman's life. You can be exhausted and still feel guilty for resting. You can be overwhelmed and still feel guilty for saying no. You can be mistreated and still feel guilty for stepping back. Here is the first truth. Guilt is not always a sign you did wrong. Sometimes guilt is a sign you did something new. If you were trained to be helpful, agreeable, and quiet, then no feels like danger, because in the old system, being approved was safety. So when you set a boundary, your body reacts like you are risking abandonment, and the body calls that guilt. Now let's connect this to self-silencing. Self-silencing is the habit of suppressing needs and feelings to preserve relationships. So when you say no, you are breaking an agreement you never signed consciously. I will keep you comfortable, and in return, I will be accepted. That agreement is not love, it is a survival contract. Bowen Systems gives language here. When you begin to differentiate, the system pushes back. Because the old balance depended on you carrying the emotional load. So when you stop carrying, people may guilt you, not always intentionally. Sometimes they are simply accustomed to access. Let's say that carefully. Some people are not upset because you harmed them. They are upset because you changed the rules of access. Now, Jung. If your persona is the good one, then your shadow carries your no. So when no comes out, it feels foreign. You think, who am I becoming? You are becoming whole. It just feels unfamiliar because you were trained to live as a half-self. Now let's bring in a Stoic tool. Epictetus would say, examine the impression. When guilt hits you, it arrives as an impression. I'm selfish. I'm unkind. I'm failing. Stoic practice is to pause and test the impression. Ask, is it true that I'm selfish? Or is it true that I'm exhausted? Is it true that I'm unkind? Or is it true that I'm setting a reasonable limit? Is it true that I'm failing? Or is it true that I'm finally protecting my health? This is not arguing with yourself. This is reality testing. Now practical. Here are 3 reasons women feel guilty when they say no. 1. Fear of disapproval. You were trained to value approval too highly. 2. Fear of conflict. You learn that conflict threatens connection. 3. Identity. If you have always been the helper, saying no feels like losing who you are. So how do you change this? You start with clean language, not long speeches, not over-explaining, just clean. No, I can't. That doesn't work for me. I've decided. I'm not available. Your nervous system may shake at first. That does not mean it's wrong. That means you are detoxing from a pattern. Now, here is the most important reframe. Disappointment is part of adult life. A mature person can tolerate it. So if someone treats your boundary like a betrayal, that is not evidence that you are wrong. It is evidence that they were depending on your lack of boundaries. Let's close with a practice for this week. Write down one place you say yes out of fear. Now write the sentence you wish you could say. Keep it short. And then, say it once. You will not die. You will feel guilty. And then you will survive the guilt. And that survival teaches the nervous system. I can say no and remain safe. That is freedom. Not loud freedom. Quiet freedom. Notice what resonated and notice what resisted. Both are information. Sometimes what unsettles you is not attack, it is recognition. You cannot change your past. You cannot rewrite the years you overgave. You cannot undo the times you stayed longer than you should have. But you can change what you tolerate now. You can change what you explain away. You can change what you excuse. You can change the standards you quietly lower to keep peace. Awareness does not make you cold. It makes you clear. And when a good woman becomes clear, she stops negotiating with patterns that cost her dignity. She stops mistaking endurance for love. She stops calling emotional labor devotion. She stops trying to be the reason someone else matures. She turns inward. She stabilizes herself. And from that place, her choices change naturally, not dramatically, not angrily, quietly. Until next time, stay conscious, stay steady, and stay awake.